Yeah, ready. Let's go. Go ahead, Alex. Let me introduce you first. Hi, I'm WillPWilson, and we're going to do a program today. We're going to introduce you to Alex, and as well, we're going to review with Ron Gillman on the circumstances of or shall we say, finding out more on mind control, weapons and research and programs like that that's going on, neuroeconomics, as I've learned from other people who've researched this, Tableau Corporation, cloud computing, Promega, and it's going into a lot of stuff. And so, Alex, real quick, as I'm introduced this, and we're going to hear Ron, maybe Curtis Kim might be here, but go ahead, tell us a little bit about this.
Hi, I was on the show a couple years ago, so basically, I'm here today because Will was so gracious to invite me to the show to basically talk about some of the stuff I've been dealing with my label. I have a record label called MindFreak Recordings, and for the last couple years, we have had some serious issues. And again, this is how I'm going to read it. This is true. I wouldn't have thought it was true. I would think I was crazy myself, but there are far too many people, and especially the people I'm going to read off their names you've heard that you may have dismissed, that the Illuminati is real. They are true. It is connected to Freemason, like it or not. This is true. So, this is what I wrote. They've been trying to close us down. We've been in digital distribution. We've been in digital distribution 4 times prior, and that is what's going on here. So here we go. Arizona Wilder, John Todd, Catherine O'Neill, Mark Clemenson. It's true about the Illuminati. People like Paris Jackson, Randy Quaid, Tequila, Michael Jackson, and now me are all telling the same message. We know not one another, yet we all have the same thing in common, the Illuminati. Now, my story. My name is Alex Stallings. I'm a mixed-race black woman who runs a record label called MindFreak Recordings out of Seattle, Washington. My ordeal started on MySpace when I befriended Russell Small from a well-known DJ duo called Fat and Small. I was a fan. So for a year, me and Russell Small exchanged emails, not many, a total of 9, in depth, very deep, very personal. He seemed to be a true friend. He mentioned hanging out a lot with Jay-Z, Beyonce. I knew from research what these two are. Devil worshippers, Luciferians, a part of the Illuminati. Bells begin to go off about Russell. A year later, Russell disappeared from MySpace. He took down his band page. He had 250,000 followers. Then he reappeared with a group called Freemason. Now, if you know anything about initiation, for Kanye West, it was Lucifer, son of the morning. This is how they show their allegiance to Lucifer and the Masonic way, the Luciferian way. For Russell Smalls, it was Freemasons. I knew what he had done. He had taken the Masonic blood oath. His new music videos had all the Illuminati messianic symbols. Shortly after his departure from MySpace, symbols began to show up on my MySpace console. When I would try to log in, they were like subliminal messages. Images of eyes of Horus, King Tut's face, white creepy smiley faces, pyramids, hieroglyphics, lots of triangles, bull's eyes, balloons. These images kept coming for months. I began to complain to MySpace, and they began to retaliate. My account settings for emails, postings, messages in my blog shut off. I tried making my MySpace page private 3 times, only to come back and it was public again. Emails I sent to major artists and indie labels blocked. Returned to me all 7 emails after 9 months. 9 months after I got all the emails back, returned that said unable to send, I left MySpace for SoundCloud, feeling I was in safe waters. Sent an email to Alex Jones telling him about MySpace. This was May 2011. In 2012, we sent a takedown notice after deleting our MySpace account. The account was reposted by MySpace. the account was activated without my permission. Then they retaliated, but this wasn't the first time along with Google that they had retaliated. Google began online harassment by blocking digital distribution and videos. In 2010, we joined Bandcamp. They took the money and the counter broke, so we were unable to keep tabs on sales and people coming into the page. In 2010, Songcast Music was another digital distribution. They didn't give us sales reports, and they were releasing us all over the world. They owe us $4,000. We never saw sales figures. No money, but later we found out that it was them and that we actually did make sales. In 2013, we got on with Lynx Records last year. Then Google up and blocks us from our YouTube page, our MindFreak Recordings account, without any third-party notice for no reason other than to stop us from releasing videos. 6 months forward. Now, that happened in June of 2013. At the end of November of 2013, after having the Android cell phone from Boost, we got off because we were connected to Gmail and we were getting a lot of junk mail on the Android app. So we disconnected. The moment we disconnected, we were unable to get back into our YouTube account via the cell phone. We tried 3 days from terminals, yet we were locked out again. So in total and all, we were locked out of this MindFreak Recordings account. We subsequently kept sending them notices. They will not take it down. You must note that Google is now being sued for, well, guess what? Their apps by a Nassari and Jung law firm in San Francisco, and the lawsuit is being bought by several individuals out of San Jose. So then in January 2013, Google tried to steal our copyright. They bought up 40% of Tumblr in late 2012, then locked us out of our account, then tried to make claim on 3 tracks we had up on Tumblr. We tried to copyright a new album called Electric Dreams. The Copyright Office was involved. I confronted them again about Google because it kept going through a process. And upon confronting the investigator, John White, hi John, at the Copyright Office, I told him we know Google's involved. We know that they're trying to take ownership over our label. Hey, do you think that you can take this out of, investigation? So that's what he did. After we confronted him about being with Google and MySpace, then he released our copyright late last year. Will, I'm almost done here.
You're fine, huh? You're good.
Okay, let me keep going. Again, Google got their hands on another track earlier this year via SoundCloud that was not yet released called Fender Fantasy. I noticed the number on my page on SoundCloud that the track was missing. We only released that via SoundCloud. So they were going to try to get a jump start on our new album, Frequency, and try to take it, is basically what they were trying to do. We subsequently contacted the Copyright Office, and we contacted SoundCloud via email. We have proof. We have proof of Tumblr. We have proof of all the notices we've been sending about YouTube, Tumblr, and also the Copyright Office and SoundCloud. None of these agencies or individuals have yet to reply, and it is now 7 months later. Okay, please note, again, we have sent several notices this year about Tumblr, YouTube pages. They refuse to comply. In retaliation, Google keeps blocking, deleting info in large amounts from the internet without our permission regarding MindFreak Recordings. In 2013, around September, we got on with LabelWorks. We opted out of Google Play because of all the troubles we have had with our locked out YouTube account, with them buying up Tumblr, with them going straight up to the Copyright Office. And out of nowhere, they decided to approach LabelWorks, Google, and MySpace. LabelWorks refused to pay us, so we had to get lawyers at Garvey, Schubert, and Baird. Google was suppressing online store information, so when we were released, we could not see any of the stores. And only when we opted out of our music and took our music out of the stores did the information show up online. They also did the same thing with Songcast Music. They tried to hide the store info. And only when we took our music down did the information show up online. Look, anytime you release something, like when Will releases something and he says something, it's on the internet right away. And the only people that can take it down is you, or if it's another company. So we had to close our Hotmail account because Google was stealing emails out, implicating them in Label Works and Songcast Music, stealing our money, and the Copyright Office. The Hotmail account wasn't hacked. Hotmail gave Google access. Because let's keep it real. If I got attorneys, you know these attorneys are getting ready to sue you, why would you, if you hacked an email, why would you just, for one, not take the email and change the passcode? Why would you take emails out implicating you in stealing digital distribution money deliberately? All of this was happening after we got lawyers for Label Works. Our Yahoo accounts that our attorneys set up, Google went, shut them down, took out the information. They shut down my inbox 5 times. I tried to use the name DJ Bionic Bounce. All we had to do was keep shutting it down because there was nothing we could do. All the emails continuously kept being stolen. Google and MySpace sent agents to potential artists. Jackie Ortiz was one. In 3 weeks last year, after getting with Lynx Records, she decided not to sign, and this girl was sent. She mimicked me, talked like me, and she even, because I'm a Messianic Jew, had a Jewish last name, but she wasn't Jewish. Upon confronting Jackie about her girlfriend, and upon confronting the girlfriend about being with Google, the girlfriend decided to run and hide, and she didn't want to have anything to say to me. And when I kept repeatedly telling her, you know, hey, Jackie, your girlfriend is one of them, subsequently that artist is no longer with us. Subsequently, that artist is no longer with that girlfriend, because once they knew they couldn't use her to get to me as a mechanism, that meaning using Jackie to try to control me, then the girlfriend, who was an agent sent to her, was of no more use. Then recently, Jared Brown. He was also approached by them. Now he doesn't want to sign. And the funny thing about it is we didn't, you know, there's no pictures on our sites of Jared. Jared was all ready to sign. He was an old friend, went to school with them at Shoreline. Just like the lawsuit in San Jose, California, Nasari Jung, Google has the ability, like Edward Snowden said, to remotely view your telephone directory, to manipulate and control your phone, because the Android is ran by their apps. This year, particularly me, I had to download 8 different apps off Google Play because Twitter keeps messing with my channel feed, making sure tweets aren't sent. We have to keep uploading TwitterCast, Echo Phone, and now they're trying to make it so that I upload their little Twitter apps so they can control me. So I was staying with my RV in a safe parking program. This is how sick these people are. This woman appears named Jeanette after my grandmother. Now keep in mind that the Illuminati, they deal with lots of symbols and a lot of familiarity. So they try to mimic and they try to play God. This woman began following me. She messed with my camper. I had the paperwork from the gentleman I bought it from that had money. Then my transmission was refurbished and the starter, and somebody took the pin out the starter, damaged my transmission. Shortly after I got there, transmission fluid was on the ground. And when I would go in, which was rare, into the church, when I would come home from work, I would rarely even talk or say anything or go in. And when I would mention about Google and what was going on with my civil suit and going on with Label Works and Garby Schubert and Bear, she would deliberately try to sway the conversation from Google. I knew exactly what she was. She was a sent agent. She would say things like, oh, you're not friends with Google? Oh, or, you know, just start acting really weird, positioning herself, following me around. So just to let you know, right before I left, because I was in the safe parking program and I was there for, 7 months, I confronted Jeanette about her involvement. Now, this is what was weird because I was keeping in touch with a detective friend, Deb Brown, at the Seattle Police Department. I informed her in January that this woman was there because I was speaking to Deb about everything. When I began to speak about Google and MySpace and Hotmail, well, lo and behold, they removed Deb Brown and told her not to talk to me no more at the Seattle Police Department. Guess who did that? Google, MySpace, and Hotmail, because she was snooping around. Now, to bring you up to date, I went on ahead and I contacted the Kirkland Police Department because that's where the safe parking was. Now, after I had left, a week later, this woman, Jeanette, shows up 60 miles where I'm located at, 7 miles from Monroe where I was staying. The house was burglarized the first week of September. I subsequently saw her September 3rd. I contacted the Kirkland Police Department and I called the dispatch 5 times and they would not let me, they would not believe me, and they began to mock me. No return phone calls, but the house that I was living in the middle of nowhere was burglarized. I see this woman 7 miles from where I live coming out of Snohomish City and Snohomish County after she told me she was not one of them, and she told me she had no association with Google, but she kept making references to Google, references to the Rothschilds, references to the Illuminati when I was there. So there you go. She follows me up there in the middle of nowhere, had no way of knowing where I was going. So to wrap this up, then they sent a guy trying to force Kabbalism down my throat. Then I moved outside of Seattle to the safe parking in Kirkland. He shows up 7 months later in the middle of nowhere on the bus and begins following me and becomes angry when I ditched him on the bus. He began to try to force me to speak about my faith and Kabbalism. Now understand, this is all I'm going to read because Will's got to get to someone else. But my point that I'm trying to make with this guy is familiarity here. The Illuminati is Luciferians and Kabbalism. This gentleman thinks he's a Jew, but he's actually a fake Ashkenazim Jew because it's mysticism. Why would this man show up? I mean, Google had people coming to my gym. I go to Fitness Evolution. I know the manager at the gym, Audrey. Audrey doesn't think I'm crazy. They were sending people in with shawls, with black and white triangles, Masonic symbols, stopping, staring at me. They had mind control, which is exactly what Will is getting ready to have on his show with this fine gentleman right here. They had 2 situations. They sent this guy last year. I told him to get away from me. My friend told him to get away from me. I knew he was coming back. I pulled out a weapon, set it down. He came back around after my friend left because they sent him, and I said, you get the bleep away from me, pulled out the weapon. He froze in one place for almost 10 minutes because his programming broke down. When I was at the gym, there was this woman coming in that kept harassing me. I told her, you're bleeping, flipping weird, and I used the F-bomb on her. You people are weird, leave me alone. And she stood there naked, turned towards her robe, and she froze in one spot. Last but not least, I wanted to go back to what I said earlier about the Kirkland Police Department. I contacted Lieutenant Murray September 14th. Nobody will do anything about Google. Google and MySpace think that they're going to continue to get away with it. We have started another digital distribution, and I'm telling you what, we had to start our own because they were showing up on websites. They're bringing people in. They keep bringing these agents with these symbols. They are wearing checkerboard, black and white checkerboard, Masonic, trying to get me to take a Masonic oath, trying to force us out of business, because what it is the music industry is run by the elite. It's run by fake Jews and the mafia. So that is what I've got to say. And if you now still think this isn't true, I'm in your face. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you hang on to it.
And this is what it is. We tried to get attorneys, and that is what it is. If you have any questions, I guess you can call Will.
Okay, we're about to get with Ron Gillman as well. Hey, Ron, it's good to see you. And thank you, Alex. Stay here because I want your input. And Ron, what is this? What are we looking at right here?
You're looking at a shroud. I'm going to call it my Ron Gillman shroud and Perry Lindstrom shroud. This is a wrap that was around my bed. This was a wrap around my bed as we know it as targeted individuals as shielding. This is a carpet padding or a floor underlayment padding. As you can see, Let me put all my, I'm going to put all my 12 SD cards that I started again, and I don't mean to cover you here. But this shroud was facing the outside. The aluminum was facing on the outside. And when I was unwrapping around my bed, I noticed the blue streaks. That's a heat transfer from a directed energy weapon. Now, this is where my head is. This is where Carrie's head is. Carrie was a victim because of me. I was in court for the last 4 years defending my last name, and right before my last court date, after passing 3 mental examinations, they decided to pull over my girlfriend, hit her with a billy club halfway through her head, knock her out, throw her in the back of a van while she was handcuffed. 3 men masturbating on her, using her as an ashtray. Am I still on? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Using her as an ashtray and brutally raping her with their batons. And this was on Maple Drive and Chuckanut Drive in South Snohomish County. The South Snohomish County is relevant because Tarek Moses was witness to a incident where I had some material ripped off from Carrie's house. I called the police. The deputy came over to do a report, and the sergeant told that deputy to get out of the house and never take a report from Ron Gillman. My life, Carrie's life, after I dropped the court case, have been nothing but hell. The reason why I dropped my court case, 2 reasons. They stole 37 SD cards from Carrie's house weeks prior to the court case. I can no longer use my phone to contact any lawyer, anybody. AT&T could give a holy shit about it because they're involved. They get $10 million from the CIA. And the second thing is, after Carrie's rape, they told me that was just the beginning. Your children, their lives are going to be hell, raped. They will never get anywhere in life. Now, can you imagine your girlfriend was just raped by 4 people, hooded people in back of a dark blue van, which I talked to Linwood Police Department, and they denied they had one, but we saw one there. Carrie couldn't keep her eyes off it. Yeah, Carrie's life's in jeopardy. They threatened her with finding her child in Snoqualmie Falls, eaten by bears. Now they're heating us, and Carrie Lindstrom is not acting like a person with rationality anymore because she's been heat penetrated by this directed energy weapon. They're frying her brain as they're frying mine. And she is making irrational decisions, going home by herself at 5 in the morning. Just last night, we fought over a roast beef compared to corned beef in a store. She almost went home. I talked her out of it. Her uncle kicked her out of her house, who Carrie claims has changed the estate that her father left her. So there's so much family involvement. There's so much police involvement. There's so much involvement. The thing about this shroud, there's roughly maybe 15 feet in between my house and my headboard and the next house next to me. Where I live on 148th in 33rd in Sheridan Beach, 3353 Northeast 148th Street. There's apartment buildings across the way from me. After I hung this shroud, my V2K said, "You're going to pay hell." Then that Sunday, I hung the shroud Friday. The Sunday, Mary's Towing came out, hung signs on the fence. I also got a ticket on one of the a van that I bought for the Freedom FCHS site. The Lake Forest Park ticketed that van. The Mary's Towing hung signs. Monday, my cars were towed, my dark blue van and my motorhome. It would have cost me $1,500. The significance of that is that apartment building. I see people on the first, second, third floor, on the roof, in the backyard,
And on the side yards by the garage at 4 in the morning, we're all viewing what Will and I could both testify to as objects that are experimental aircraft, whatever you want to see. I'm inviting anybody to go to the north end of Lake Washington, go there at 2 in the morning, and just park somewhere where you can have a good view of what we see. And you're going to see stuff that's going to be Project Bluebeam coming down the road to scare the shit out of you, because America's getting a little tired of the terrorist act. We now need UFOs to attack us, and we have them, folks. So I used to have 37 SD cards, 8 to 16 millibytes. They're all gone. I'm starting a new one. But I have now 25 cameras. I have 25 VCRs, 25 TVs, all broken. Cords missing, whatever. They don't record. My RX-7 was recently stolen after 3 days of insuring it with Geico. And Will and I can testify to this. My car was remotely set afire by none other than whoever can deny me 6 years of Social Security, which I've been told I'll never receive with degenerative disc disease. My thing is, it's across the street. They house these people. I've seen them on their balcony. I've seen them on the roof. We're out there at 4 in the morning viewing because I don't get sleep. One of the part of torture is sleep deprivation, lack of food, imminent demise, and peril to your family. Look what's going on with me. Oh, by the way, here, let me show you one more thing before it gets stolen. This is the second chip that was taken from my head. When Discovery Show came to my house for 3 days and filmed me, I gave them one of the other chips. When they brought it to California, the scientists found out there's titanium in it. These came from this area of my head. I got 2 more, but I can't seem to get the doctor to get the other 2 out because my phone is so controlled, I don't even know who I'm talking to anymore. I can't get a hold of a lawyer who would take on PacMed for shooting me in my back, what they called epidurals 2 years ago. But epidurals only last for a couple weeks to a couple months. I don't feel my spine anymore. I'm an experiment. I'm a miracle. My foot has had operation for directed energy weapons, and now they're making my girlfriend, Carrie Lenstrom, they're making her mind leave her. They told me they would. They threatened her. They said they will eliminate her and her daughter. They told me if I was to come on stage today, which I've been on the Super Soldier Mind Control Summit for 2 years running. I've been on AM Coast to Coast. I'm on 40 other radio programs that have been on this show 15 times at least. My life is over. My children's life is over. And these guys can make it so. Believe me. They blew out Carrie Murray's tire at my house. They blew out my tires. They blowed up my cars going down the road after they asked me where I want to break down remotely. I've had numerous transmission problems, numerous starting problems, numerous battery problems. I've had thousands of hours of recordings taken from me. These people are going to run your lives, and they're storing every bit of your child's mind right now in an 80-acre site down in Utah, 4 buildings. And you know what? That's how they get their vote if they ever become Congress lady or they can do anything they want if they store all the information from your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, fears, fantasies, whatever, to cast anything they wish upon you. My girlfriend's getting raped by 4 men in the back of a van. She doesn't realize every time she gets home, they hypnotize her. She unlocks the door. They rape her. I have someone in my group. Her name's Penny. She's down south. And she chains herself to bed. She super glues her locks on the door from the inside and cuts herself out every day. But she's still getting raped. You know why? Cloaking exists. Will was at my house the other night. We were eating pizza. I discovered all day long I was getting this bad whiff of smell, and it kind of was a mist in my face. But that night after I picked up Will, I looked in the reflection of the window. I saw someone in the back. I splashed water on him. It glittered onto his body. He then sprayed me a couple times. I actually felt the spray. I cornered this man in my kitchen with a big, like a Chinese wall thing that I have that had fabric on it, and he sprayed me again. I shoved that thing into him, and the thing came back at me hard, and I just went livid, and I shoved it so hard into him. I only thought of, my God, my children, my girlfriend, and all the other children out there that are going to be raped by someone invisible. We have invisibility. Cloaking is real. Will's got a film of the mist in my kitchen from a spray bottle. I called 911, talked to the fire department, the police department, everybody to get someone out to get that smell. Nobody reacted. You know what? That apartment building got me $1,500 more in debt. I lost a car because I can't afford it. That apartment building houses the perps. It's called Watercrest. It's on Lake City Way. Visit it sometimes and come down to my house and let's go view some UFOs that are flying over Lake Washington. And oh, by the way, my neighbors, none of them work. They all have beautiful cars, beautiful houses, and they're all out on the streets at 4 in the morning viewing shit. Why is that? My child wanted that house so bad. I got it for my child. I didn't even have a place to park. The landlord gave me a 3-day notice after I hung that banner to get the hell out of that house. Because the insurance company wouldn't insure me because I have banners? You kidding me? I have nowhere to park except across the street. My house sits on the street. This is so large, so huge. I don't know where it ends. But hopefully this will get on air with voice to accompany it, because we know the government controls my phone. They drop my downloads at 99% on the internet. We know that, what's her name, Deborah Weber has gone nuts. The federal witness to 9/11. She was staying in my house for three months. She finally went nuts, and she's going just losing it over, all the directed air weapons being used on her. It's scary, folks, but you know what? She is talking the same thing I'm talking. This stuff is real. You could Google Ron Gillman, AM Coast to Coast. You can see what I've done. Super Soldier Mind Control Summit. I'm not here to. I can't make this up. If there's any lawyers out there watching this, get a hold of me. If there's any movie producers who want a real movie that would blow your mind of what this government could do to a person to destroy them, Google me. If you want to see all the crap that Shoreline Court has put on me, Google me. I want to have a real cop investigate. I want to have a detective who's going to watch my death happen. They say I'm not going to die. I'm going to go mentally ill. What a thing to hear. You're going to be bumping into walls, my biggest fear, because I went to Western State. Scary place. You know what the prosecutor at Shoreline said? I'm a danger to my community, and I should be on medication. Well, you know what? F you, lady. You are part of the problem. And you are probably part of the Illuminati, and you are going to pay in the end for your problems, not by me, but by the ones who judge us.
Got it real quick. Hey, Ron, get my microphone turned up. My turned up. Ron, thank you very much. That's good input. And Alex, real quick, real last repent, because we're going to get on with the next segment here. Alex, real quick, go ahead. Thank you, Ron.
You're welcome.
Well, needless to say, I'm always thrilled and always very much amused
Can you hold on?
and
Wait.
enlightened when I come on a Will's show. And basically what he said, America is becoming a police state, people. And a lot of what he's saying and a lot of what they're doing, I'm a child of God. I'm a Messianic Jew. That means a Judeo-Christian for you that don't realize this. And a lot of this is being shown to children of God, because God reveals this stuff to his children about the mind control and about the police state and what the police are doing, and about race and stuff coming through your house and what they're doing, and the chemtrails. and the nanobots and all this stuff. You know, people are having dreams, and this
Project
stuff really.
Bluebeam.
Project Bluebeam was first done on an island off the coast of Brazil, and it killed the people. And it was a large beam that came through, and it was electrocuting and killing and frying the foreign people.
Look up into the sky at night.
We
You'll
gotta
see
go. Gotta
Look
go.
up in the sky.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I wonder, my mic is now way too
Tell me
high.
up in the sky.
Hi. Thank you, Alex. Thank you too, Ron. Thank you. And so I am WillPWilson, and we've been watching the All Day Live show. And thank you, Alex, again, and then Ron. And here we are. And hope to see you next week, because this is important. You people are being hit too. We're the only people stepping forward, probably in the United States, right, about this. Take note. Why don't any of you people want to learn to do TV? I'll help teach you that. Ron's helped out. We're all helping out. We're all working together to get a message out.
We're all dying.
And we're all dying. Yeah, as of this massive attack upon us. Thanks for watching the All Day Live show. I prepare everything about what we're trying to do, including trying to help the cannabis industry here and HempFest and all these other things that are happening to rebuild our economy, try to help neutralize nuclear material that's getting into our bodies so we can take it out with that type of hemp and cannabis extracts and things like that. It goes beyond smoking, and there's a lot more involved because it's us, just us, all of us, just trying to work together to try to keep us all going. Thanks for watching All Day Live. We'll see you on the next segment. Thank you.
Oh, are you serious?
No. Baby. All right. Hi. Okay, this is All Day Live. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You ready, Alex? And boom. Boom. Hey, it's All Day Live. Again. That might be again and again and again. And here we are again and again. I'm WillPWilson, and this is the show you're watching is probably around September, October 2014. And we cover a lot of stuff because we can. And it's not just because we can kind of thing, because I got Alex here, and she's a colleague of mine, and we do these programs, have for, Alex, what, about 10 years? Something like that? Yeah. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, I don't know,
Well,
but
it's a little less than that. My name is Alex Stallings, and I've lived here in the Seattle area for about 10 years, and I've known Will a little bit under that. But nonetheless, I used to take the show back in 2010 with him, and life kind of got in the way, and I've had, some fans, so whenever they can get this, it's actually October 2nd, Will. Hey, what's up, everybody? So today, what we're going to cover today, Will, we were having a little discussion, a powwow before this, and we were talking about colloidal silver, and the fact that I had told him that there has been evidence that it helps with things like, Ebola. It is not a vaccine. For anybody that wants to dispute this, let me just give you a little history about.
I really apologize for these really horrible. Jeez, this makes really bad. That's microphones, and we're going to get right back to you, hon. If I didn't have the speaker and let me know that the alien spaceships are above us, but anyway, I don't even know where this mic is like off the charts. Anyway, I apologize. You guys want to donate to this school here at North Seattle Community College? Please do, would you? Give them some new sound equipment.
Maybe
Anyway.
don't put any more triangles on the front lawn there.
That's right.
Now, Will, are we going to tell them the history about the colloidal silver and Ebola? And I've got to say this, I watched the thing last night on YouTube. I follow a young lady called May Chosen One. That's the number one, and it's all May Chosen One.
Hold on, hon. We are having some serious microphone problems here, people.
It's okay, Will.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Okay, can you hear me? Because I can hear something.
Oh. Thank you. We're doing it. Okay.
Want to restart again?
Yeah, well, we'll just flow back into it here. I'm not Alex. She's Alex.
What's up? Let's try this again. So we are back, and this is probably going to be edited. However, Welcome to our show. You know, All Day Live with WillPWilson and me, Alex Stallings. And we are talking about colloidal silver today. That's right. And it's not the first time that I've heard this, but I did share it with Will. And Will is very intelligent enough. He got online and he found out some information. It treats, guess what? Ebola. So, you know, I'm going to tell you a little information today. We all obviously know that George Soros and Bill Gates had something to do with it. Anybody who doesn't think that, you know, Bill Gates is capable of this, need we say that he pays 45 news outlets, including BBC and NRP, to keep his name and his nose out of the dirt before you wonderful people. And let's not forget about Cargill and Monsanto's and Agro, you know, GMO. He has 23 million shares in all of these companies. Let's give it up for Bill Gates. And if you get on YouTube, you can even type in population control, Bill Gates exposed, and you will hear, my friends, a speech he did for several thousand people about population control through inoculations and vaccinations. Wow, I didn't know. I thought birth control was supposed to help people, not decrease and control the population. I thought childhood inoculations were supposed to help people, Bill, not kill children. But then go look at what he did last year in India, you know, distributing the polio vaccine. It sickened, it damaged, it blinded, it caused paralysis in India with 45,000 children. Thank you, Bill Gates. Now, back to colloidal silver. So, Will?
Yeah.
Last night, I was looking on YouTube at a wonderful friend of mine, May Chosen One. It's May Chosen One with the number 1 at the end of it, and it's all one word. And she was talking about colloidal silver. You know how it treats things such as we talked about it. Will, would we say Lou Gehrig's disease, MS, multiple sclerosis, and these are actual testimonies that you can find on YouTube. So everybody thinks YouTube crazy, but crazy people even watch YouTube, where they give testimony. So we're going to piss off the CDC today about colloidal silver, because whether you realize it or not, your government owns the patent, that's right, to Ebola and the vaccines, because we know that big pharmaceutical doesn't do anything but kill, steal, destroy our money. And guess what? It doesn't even heal or kill the symptoms. It just supposedly treats it, and we're all lab rats in a cage. That's right. Give it up for the Disease for Center Control. We love them.
One second.
How's that working?
You're great. Anyway, somebody needed to hear you. I did, at least. And it was, I know I heard it before. Maybe somebody else will. But the whole idea is,
No,
yes.
people are going to hear it. They're going to hear it because we want them to hear it, Will.
Yeah. In the meantime, is we got like seconds into the studio that never works. But anyway,
So what should we tell about colloidal silver?
well, take note. You know, I haven't enjoyed being here in the Northwest or in this country, even though I served this country in ways you guys wouldn't believe. But anyway, truth. I figure if I convey, like you convey truth, we're just conveying truth, right? That's all.
Yes.
Truth is remedy.
And
Right.
let's remedy the fact about colloidal silver and how you make it real quick. Basically what you need is you need 5-volt, 9-volt batteries. You need a red wire and a black wire, because red and white are hot wires. And you need clips. You need 3 clips. And you need pure silver. It needs to be 92.5 or 99.9% silver. You take a jar of distilled water, not tap water, filtered water is fine, and then you take and you attach the 1 clip to the 9-volt. You put the 9-volt batteries together, all 5 of them. You clip them all together. I wish I had a little demonstration here. And then you take the clip. The first clip goes on to the 9-volt batteries, and then you take and then you. The clip has a red and a black wire. That red and that black wire go out separately to the 2 other clips. Those clips are connected to the inside of the water jug. Make sure the clips are not touching the water, and you got to have fine silver. The silver has to be next to each other, the clips do, and then make sure they're not touching, and then it takes a half an hour, and the water will begin to change, and it will begin to get cloudy. Now you want 77 parts. Anything under that is not going to help. They're making it in 10th parts, and 1100 parts is the best on the market right now. So that's how you make it, and you put the cells together and you clip them at the ends of each other, the 9-volt batteries, and then you take it out after half an hour. But make sure the clips are not.
I am, but I'm doing a TV show right at this time. Who's this?
And that is how you will be able to fight all various types of pathogens.
About what? What is it about?
And the bird flu and
Right.
Ebola.
I work with him in doing TV shows.
This has been known to treat. Do your research.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
take our word for it. Get out
yeah,
there
you bet.
on the web, read books, talk to people, and figure this out. Now, Will, before we jump off air, everybody, listen to me right now. Will and I are going to cover this. America2050.org. David Rockefeller's website. If you wonder why the rent in Seattle is skyrocketing and people are moving in, on David Rockefeller's website, and guess what, Mr. George Soros, too, the Ashkenazim Khazar Jew traitor in World War II, he was, selling his people into the prison concentration camps, though they're not real Jews, for money at 15 years old. We know what he is, jerk. Anyways, so this website shows us 13 regions, 13 sections, in which, guess what? The Rockefellers who love us so much, and all the elite, Bill Gates, all of them, 2050, these regions are mega cities, and they want to push everybody into these mega cities. Now listen to me, folks. If you wonder why Seattle's becoming the way it's becoming, it's because it's technological, and this is the perfect spot for them to hatch their New World Order. You see all the buildings being built downtown with the triangles, the all-seeing eye, the elite are up in here. If you look out here at the North Seattle on the front lawn, there's upside-down triangles, pyramids, they're just everywhere. They're everywhere like maggots, and the cockroaches that they are. Hi, Illuminati. Hi, Rockefellers. Hi, George Soros. Hi, Bill Gates. Hi, Paul Allen. Just want to let you know, Paulin, we know what Vulcan stands for. It is because he likes Star Trek. It is because, guess what? It means Lucifer, 1,000 points of light. Light bearer. That's what Vulcan means. Look up the research to Vulcan. Before you believe these people have your best interests at heart, guess what? Bill Gates and Paul Allen are the ones that were the biggest pusher when Mayor Nichols was in office for this Mecca, and a city for the rich is what Paul Allen wanted to dub this. So Bill Gates and Paul Allen are getting their wish according to America2050.org. Everybody get on there and look at how they want to run you up into cages like animals. And let's not get started on the new bus lines, 27 of them, all of them start with 66, 606, 6869, all Illuminati numbers. 666 is Lucifer, and we all know it. So, Will, is there anything else that we need to cover before we get off air?
Where's the river Styx, and do they have anything to do with Six? Remember that river Styx, and that like this river that's part of the 666 Styx?
Yes, 66.
It's got to have something to do with that. I mean,
It's
Styx
gotta,
and Six.
Yeah, it's got to be. We're all being prepared. We're
Yeah.
being prepared. Aliens,
Yes.
everything, New World Order, mega cities, chemtrails to rot our brains, Ebola to kill us off according to Agenda 21. And if you read Obama's Obama healthcare bill, I believe it's either page 1205 or 1405 or 1505 or 1502. Just go read the bill. I forgot which page it was. But in there, they want to stick you with the RAFD chip. They want to use you like monkeys. And
Leave me
guess what?
alone,
He can order
dude.
this at any
I'm working.
time in his bill. That's right, folks. You guys are now the property of the government you guys voted in because you guys are too silly and too slow to get it. So now we have Ebola. Now they're kicking in their Agenda 21 in Africa. Is there a reason why the people in Africa are killing the doctors? Well, guess what? Doctors Without Borders was ran by David Rockefeller's son, Richard Rockefeller. And I'm sorry, you live like 2 or 3 days from a major city, and you're 2 or 3 days in the bush in Africa, and everybody's healthy in your country or city or wherever it is you live, your little village or whatever, and then the doctors come, and then everybody gets sick. So if the doctors come and make everybody sick, then that means the people are going to kill the doctors. These people by no means are uneducated. If you really think about how remote in some places Africa is still, I mean, you live in a small village, you live in a small council place, everybody's perfectly healthy, nobody's showing any symptoms, nobody's checking in with it, then the doctors say we're coming to educate them. Yeah, you're coming to them Doctors Without Borders because you see the Illuminati triangle, electric boat on the dam, Doctors Without Borders. Good thing David Rockefeller, you know, sacrificed his own son, you know, June 13th for the summer solstice. Yes, thank God. That's one more maggot, less maggot in the world, elitist. You know, this whole little thing of Agenda 21, and it's targeting black people. It's targeting people of color. Bill Gates and his GMO super banana. What are you calling us, Bill Gates? Monkeys in Africa? So you want to give us an orange banana because you think we need vitamin A? Well, why don't you just send them? Why don't you just send them vitamins, Bill Gates? Why don't you dig wells since you're such a billionaire? Why don't you send them food? Why do you need to genetically alter them with your GMO super fish genetic filled stinking ass banana? What's up with that, Bill Gates? Why don't you tell the people what you're really about? You and your sleazy, sadistic, 500-pound daddy, his eugenist self. Why don't you tell people all about what you really are and what you people, sick people, plan for Seattle? Hey, Google, what's up? Hey, I talk about you today, but you're not even worth my brain sped. How about you kick rocks? How about you quit trying to steal my music? Quit trying to steal from the black person. Quit trying to hurt the black people. Because realize it, you steal all your symbols from colored people. Look at the triangles, the all-seeing eyes. You know, you even try to make the Egyptians white. Whenever you're done, they're dark-skinned. The land of Egypt is still dark. If y'all was white, then why are you extinct from there? If you guys, you feel you're somehow the original Pharaohs. Liar, I can erase history too. So what we're saying, get on the colloidal sodium, so colloidal silver, that's colloidal silver. Get on the website 2050, America2050.org. It's America2050.org. Check out Bill Gates. Check out George Soros. Understand where the Ebola virus comes from. Understand that why would our government have a patent on the Ebola virus? Does that not make any sense? These people put their symbols in your face. So this is what they're telling you.
Alex, real quick, if this microphone works. Len Horowitz brought out in 1997-98 on the Art Bell Coast to Coast AM that Ebola was paid for and engineered by the Rockefellers. And I can't figure out to this day that people, how many thousands of millions of us are going to have to die as sacrificial soul harvested through these pieces of slime that have just been because you live your life in a little machine called a body, and all you can see is the food and the table in front of you, and the road 50 feet in front of your car. I mean, it's like, you people see anything? And these characters have been feasting and harvesting us people for how many thousands of years? And thank God for the internet, and there's a lot more behind that. But anyway, Alex, I appreciate this 10 seconds and more. But it really is just that I can't figure it out, people. How stupid are we? We let the Bush crime family have 3 terms of presidency and a vice presidency, and they're the grandson and son of Prescott Bush. And he killed his babysitter because she knew too much about the 911 crap they were pulling off because he was in charge of security. And also, it's like, I mean, are we really that stupid? I mean, what kind of control do they have over this matrix when Prescott Bush, Union Bank, was the guy that financed and created the Nazis? Come on, people. Are we that stupid? I mean, you just sit and look at this like, and you let the son and the grandson, who are known to be Satanists, pedophiles, child traffickers, launderers of everything you can imagine, rip-offs of all kinds of anything you can concept, working with those skull and bones, man, and Satan himself, and you gave them the presidency over this country. Are we, where are we? I mean, this makes so much sense. There's more than just the buildings that you know of that were blown up there. And I mean, come on, how stupid are we? We deserve to be, if they're going to kill us, Alex, we're stupid enough and deserve it. I know that they've done things to people like me and you. We're the journalists that.
Bush was sitting in the classroom and they told them about 9/11. Now listen to what the kids are saying. This is how sick these son of a guns are. The children are saying plane, must, hit, kite, building. And the words are not in that order, but they're telling you right as the guy's coming in to tell George Bush that basically, I guess, the fake Ashkenazim Jews hit the 9/11 tower, and they have the little children with the teacher saying this. And refer back to the video when he's sitting there and he got the news, and you saw his face when he was trying to play like he could read a storybook. Yeah, he is a storybook, a lying storybook.
Well,
Go, Will.
so far we've been in Satan's fantasy land, a planet where everything is in reverse, everything's backwards, and
It's
What?
illusions.
it's an illusion. This whole thing's everything. It's like we're traveling, passing through something that it's not real in a sense. It's all slowed down light. By the way, people understand visual prayer. If we all simultaneously visually pray this light matrix that we're in, because it's all slowed down light anyway. If we do it as a community, right, Alex? Visually pray together in our minds, because the body is a lens. It's an infrared lens, and it was proven when Art Bell created massive rainstorms in Texas and Florida about 15 years ago. And then again, George Norrie did it again, and 9 people drowned in Atlanta. It says, well, gosh, you guys can do this. But then where are all of us? You know, everybody right on the surface, this thing is like scattered. We're not unified. And then did God say, if you come back to God and that, whatever, it's called living universe and living God, right?
Of course we're scattered because we're in our iPods, we're in our cell phones, and those are tailored to give us particular information that is tailored to us. And they're mind warping us through this stuff. People don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to use a phone. They don't know how to talk to you in person. I mean, just the way people think they're informed because they sit on their cell phone. You know, there's information out there on the internet that is 100% true, and there's garbage out there. But the people who think they're getting the stuff are the same ones that are in the loop of the matrix. You know, they listen to the same TV programs. They listen to the mainstream news. They listen to the distraction of the sports. And, you know, if you guys want really great underground news, here's a couple places. There's Wonder News. There's Online Mail. There is also Revolution News. Those are just a couple underground news sources. That Dabu77 on YouTube, that's another wonderful person. Review Magnify, Red Pill Productions on YouTube. Just YouTube them, get on there, search them up, and find out what's really going on in the world. And then always check and do your research to make sure that what people are telling you is true. But again, the Claudio Silver is what you're going to need. It's simple. If you have questions about the process, how can they get like in touch with you, Will, or maybe they can,
real quick, Alex, I hope there's not too many fuzzy things with the mics, but anyway, let's get Dabu7. Let's interview him. What do you think?
You know, I would love
Would
to
you?
get in touch with Dabu77.
Yeah.
Hey, YouTube, you know, when I was talking to Vladimir Putin, you know, on Russia Today, you guys decided, you know, to block my channel so I can't type in it, but you're not silencing me. What you're doing is when you try to silence them out, I'm just like the blob, I just ooze out in every other direction. What are you really going to do about that? Because there's ways to get out information without